just say natural witches are using physical magic, and I think a lot of stregas use physical magic, and stregas being Italian witchcraft or traditional witches in Britain, in the Celtic. There's just lots of natural physical witchcraft, and until people started dividing it up and giving it a name, giving it a title, such as Wicca did, for instance, or the Hermetic Order, or the Golden Dawn, like all of these different, there's that was only two, but there's many different types of witchcraft, sectors, okay? And bottom line, before we did that, we were just natural witches, right? Native culture too. Exactly. It is pagan. It is being one. Being connected to the earth is what this good energy is about, and not allowing the hype of mass manipulation and religious and government people or beings or whatever, allowing them to make you something you are not, right? I might have missed something there. I just don't want to miss anything. What'd you say there? You were lucky to take whose class? Oh, Jen's class. Where you? Good stuff. Good stuff. I never took any of her classes. I mean, I really am an older witch, and I've done so many classes, and I have put on more classes than I've done, though, I shall say, but I've been in the field a long, long time. And what I have learned about physical witchcraft has come from many different ways. Nature, anything to do with nature. So my native spirituality taught me about physical magic, where the other witchcraft things that I studied and have in my family taught me about witchcraft. Well, you got to do what you got to do. So the thing I wanted to talk about tonight had to do with what is physical magic and how can you use it more traditionally and more regularly. How can you understand it? How can you use it to help yourselves? I was watching a friend of mine, Bree Witch's video regarding, I think she posted it today, if you know her, go see it, about, what can you do in a pinch? When you're out of your house, unexpectedly away from your space and your things, what can you do in a pinch? Well, first of all, most witches do have something magical in their purse or in their car or in their pocket or in their bra or what they're wearing it, we're wearing it, right? And just because I really don't like that kind of nonsense, we're going to mute that person who asked about the potatoes, and they can sit and listen and watch now, right? So in terms of using physical magic, like seriously, I've said this before, and it's a simple thing. We all have come to something with our fingers crossed, right? Have you not come to something with your fingers crossed? Say yes or no. Tell me. Have you ever just crossed your fingers and hoped whatever you thought and felt and wished would be so? That's magic. Right? That's magic. We've been doing it for a long time. How about the simplest thing, for instance, that one thing, don't step on a crack and break your mother's back. And man, if you stepped on a crack, you would be wondering what's going to happen to your mom. And that whole day, you would wonder. And half the friggin' time, I would remember, because I have a memory. And I'd go and I'd check, Mom had a bad day that day. Somebody was kicking her ass or something was going on, right? So I never stepped on a crack. I was really careful about not stepping on cracks, at least at some point in time. My point is, when you're believing in the universe and how it speaks to you, when you work with, yes, our words are magic, when you're listening to the universe and you're listening to your body and you're listening to your spirit, when it speaks to your soul, and it does speak to you, it speaks to your soul. Listen, and it will tell you, it literally will tell you what you can do next, okay? So my friend Crystal's in the room here somewhere, and she was kind of taunting me about talking about something I have been bringing up on lives over the last little while. So I thought, okay, I'm going to bring it up on my own live today. All right. It's a heavy subject, and physical magic sounds really simple, right? It sounds simple. Well, it is actually quite simple. It really is quite simple. But it's odd to people. But it isn't odd. You see, as I was saying to someone earlier, being a witch or being a magical person or being connected to the universe or the earth, being a nature person, these are natural human behaviors. They're natural, right? What isn't natural is a congregation at a religious institute. What isn't natural is a government official, group, congressman, all of this stuff. Politicians. This is not natural. Yet somehow we learn that if we don't follow that and we don't do that, it's going to be a problem somehow in our life. And so we follow it like sheep. Well, witches or people that are magical or earth-based types of people, natives, all of these types of natural beings don't want to follow religion, don't want to follow that government energy because we're not feeling it. And we want to be authentic. We want to be real. We want to be, solid people. And to be a solid community, you've got to be a solid person walking your own talk. That's as simple as that. And that will change as you learn, as you grow, as you evolve, as you educate. That part of you will grow and change and evolve as well. And so the truth as you know it today will change tomorrow, right? And to go with that. And, and if it's a big shift, a big change, explain it. Explain it, Lucy. Get it out. Talk to us. Help us understand how to elevate ourselves, So, and being open and communicative about our changed beliefs, for instance, is a really healthy thing to do. And I know I went from growing up in a family that was Catholic and then later a more Christian view. I didn't really have to deconstruct because I was always a rebel. And that's the thing. I went into these religious things or these cultural things or these government things doing as I was expected to do until I realized I could not follow it and be a real person and be real to myself. So to stand in my own truth and to be in my own way, to be one with myself, I had to walk away from these kinds of things. And you'll find that a lot of nature people will walk away, and we're walking to nature. We're not tolerating this. We're not participating in this. We're not aligning with this. And if we do, we only do it for brief moments because we know it isn't good for us. It isn't healthy. It isn't real. It's corrupt. And so I think people in general are naturally like this. And what happens to them is they get corrupted by systems and feel that they can't stand on their own. So to behave in a way as if they're in alignment with these things that they don't truly believe in behaving in this way as if they're in alignment with it, they feel as if they are accepted, okay? That they're accepted, that they're not alone. So I believe that a lot of people align with government and religion because they are fear-based and they're not confident in their own selves. I think that's the bottom line. And that is what we're seeing then when we look at witches and magical people and shamans and medicine people and all of these wonderful beings that are connected to the nature around us. What we're seeing is these are the confident ones. We are the confident ones. We are the ones that even if we're not completely confident, we're going to try. We're going to step one foot in front of the other foot and keep on moving with the universe, but in our own way, at our own pace, in our own special way. In doing that, you're going to connect with nature because you're paying attention, because you're not being bombarded with the nonsense noise around you because you've already shut it out. So the moment you shut that out a bit and you move forward to this place where you actually can center and listen to spirit, listen to, a friend of mine was talking about it, like the song, the morning song and the evening song. Yeah, well, the noise is too much. But when you can hear the songbirds in the morning, and they wake you up because they want you to get up and be part of life with them, and then you wake up and you respond to that, you're one with the universe. And at night, as the energy changes, as the landscapes change, and the frogs have their song, their evening song, or the crickets have their evening song, and you're listening again, what do you think this is all meaning? What does your mind and your spirit and your soul say those songs of the birds in the morning are saying to you? What do you think they're saying, those crickets are saying to you at night, or the frogs? What are they saying to you? What are they saying to you? So you want to listen to that. You want to try to understand what they are saying. What's this? Why is this not happening? Hang on a second here. Hang on a minute. I'm going to mute you. So what am I saying to you? I'm saying to you that if you're listening to the energy around you, it will speak to you. And when it speaks to you, you will respond in some way. Listen to that part. Listen to that part of you that responds and asks you to step in a physical way. Okay? And this is how I learned to use the elemental aspects around me. Wait a second. I don't know what just happened. Listen to the... I actually put no on mute, so they have to listen. Ha ha ha. I could have blocked them, but I think it's more fun when they're forced to listen. Isn't that cute? I have a Scorpio moon, so just a little tiny bit sadistic in some ways. My sense of humor, that is. Anyway, so the body will talk to you back. So the body will talk to you, then you can respond with whatever the body is telling you to do. Right, Mama Wolf? Thanks, Crystal. Okay, so if Bree had a point, what are you going to do when you're out and about and you didn't bring anything with you? Well, first of all, like I said, many witches are going to have some things, right? But what if you need more than what you have available to you? This is where your body parts, your body fluids are going to be helpful to you. And I say body parts too, because your hands and your feet, if they're touching the earth, if your feet are naked on the earth, and if your hands are touching the earth, or if you're near fire and you put your hands through the fire, or you jump the fire. So when I say body parts, I'm talking about... Okay, hon. So when I say using your body parts, I'm talking about you being one with the earth or with the universal element that you're working with. So if you want to work with the water, you're going to get naked and get in the water. If you want to work with the fire, you want to dance around it, you want to touch it, you want to jump it, all of that. If you're working with the earth, you get your hands on the ground. You get your feet naked on the ground. You put your bare ass on the ground and bleed into the ground. If you're on your period, bleed into that ground. You have no idea what that will do for you. Okay? Just bleeding on the ground, sitting on the ground, and bleeding into her will connect you with every other witch or every other woman that has ever done that. And that is a clan that you don't have to see, but you'll know by being a part of it that you have stepped into some very powerful central orb of energy, okay? And that energy alone can be brought with you to bring to whatever prayer or wish or incantation or magical spell or whatever it is that you're putting out there. That energy alone will amplify your prayer and wish or spell. I promise you that, okay? I promise you that. By using our blood in ritual work, we absolutely create an energy that is unsurpassable. You cannot find anything more powerful than the power of menstrual blood. Okay? I'm no longer bleeding. But there was a time when I used to hate what we called, I hate being on the rag. Remember, we used to call that nasty. Really talk dirty about it and really nasty about it. And then one day it realized to me that once I got to understand things, I read a book called The Red Moon, actually. This one really did it for me. Called, what's her name? Miranda. It's called The Red Moon. Look it up. Red Moon, Miranda something. I can't remember her last name. And it was a wonderful book, and learned a lot about how to use my magical connection through some of that. But there was other things that I learned through Strega traditions about using the blood of the menstrual period, and also the blood, even just your own blood of your hands. Like if you don't bleed anymore, you can still use your own blood, okay? And so using your own blood in, let's say, even writing a petition, or in putting a signature with it. What else could you do with it? Burn it. You could, put it on something and burn it in a prayer or in a spell. Red Moon by Miranda Gray. Thank you. That's it, honey. That's the one. Miranda Gray. You were demonized for saying this kind of shit. Well, sure you were. You see, I've already been demonized. I don't give a shit anymore. It's okay. I don't care. I just don't care. I've been out of the closet too long. You're not pushing me back in. And you're a young woman still there, Crystal, but I get it. I don't care anymore. Honestly, I just don't. So I want you to understand that your blood is the most powerful thing that you have. That is the truth. And your menstrual blood is the most powerful thing that you have. And there's so much you can do with menstrual blood. There's so much you can do with it. And just regular blood too. So for the men that are watching or participating, or who will hear this one day, I'd like to say that you can use your own blood. You can literally cut a little hole in your finger and use that blood, and it won't hurt you too much, but you can use it. And it is extremely powerful. A lot of people say that they use dragon's blood resin to seal a deal, so to speak. And you can, in a pinch, if you got it. But if you don't have it, you got your own blood. Just bleed a little bit into it. So I'm like Bree said, when you're out and about in a pinch and you don't have things, what are you going to use? Well, you can use blood. You can use urine. You can use spit. You can use snot, which is spit, but you can use it. Snot would be used for more. Well, it depends how you use it, to be honest with you. You can use it actually in a spell. If you're the one who's sick and you're doing a healing spell, you could use it to help yourself. Right? Didn't hurt you? Good. I'm glad. They can, well, semen is another thing. Semen and female and men both have that, and you can use that for sure for many things. But mostly for the dominance, to be honest with you. Dominance is the big one I would use semen for, is dominance. But you can also use it in fertility rituals, or fertility prayers, or wishes, or magic. You can use it in that as well. Right? Hey, Matt. How you doing, dude? We're talking about weird stuff here. We're talking about using your body fluids to make your magic stronger. And when it's a practical magic thing, is what we're talking about. And a friend here, amongst sisters, mentioned using tears. And tears can be very helpful too, but what would you use tears for? How could you use it? Are they happy tears? Are they sad tears? How would you use tears? It is more than that, Crystal. Thanks for bringing that up. Fertility is about abundance in general. Okay, so when you can make the ground fertile. It doesn't just have to be your body. So when we talk about fertility, it could be in creating business. It could be in creating circles of friendships. It could be a garden that you're trying to make fertile. There's so many. So being specific about your use, you want to sit down and think about every body fluid there is in a body. And I want you to think logically about how you can use it. Be logical. Be logical, because magical does not mean complicated. In fact, many witches didn't have, they didn't have any, they sure as hell didn't have a computer, right? So very rudimental kind of magic, very physical magic is what they practiced and what they used. And the herbs and the dirt and the fire and the water and the air and all of that was used in conjunction with the things that they found, which would be that alchemy, right? But nature made it simple. So don't make it complicated. Make it simple. What can you use body fluids for? Think about it. So what would you use, let's say, sad tears for? What do you think we could use sad tears for? I'm waiting. I want somebody to talk to me. What do you think you could use it for? Come on, someone be brave. Sad tears, grief. Yes, yes. Healing grief. Healing grief. And finding peace. So using sad tears can actually be helpful in, if you were doing a spell for someone else, yes, letting go, exactly, of loved ones when we bathe them before going. Yes, yes, Crystal, yes, yes. Using so in cleaning someone before they leave to be put in their coffins, you could use tears to wash their face, to wash their hands, to wash their feet, and share your love. Because in that grief is the depth of your love. And if you use those tears, even to if you put some sort of magical herbal blend together, and you put some of those tears in there, and you gave that little herbal sachet to someone, that would really help them. And they just poke it in here and they're beside their heart. That would help them find peace with that person leaving. Kaylee, I love you. You're cute. No, but what could we use for hexing? If you what do you think? What body fluid could we use for hexing? What do you think? What would be the first one that comes to mind for hexing? Like if you're going to use baneful magic and you're going to use your body fluids, what would you use? What do you think, Kaylee? Urine? Could be. Blood? Could be, yes. Yeah, depending on what you said above it, around it, indeed. Yes, yes. Snot? Yes. Yes, and you know, when you spit and you get that big yucky thing, goober kind of thing, that's what you want. Shit? Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. So the grosser it is, the better it is for baneful magic. Yes, phlegm. So you see what I mean? And you want to think about it. You want to think about how you're going to use it and why you're going to use it. Now, if you're going to use baneful magic on anyone, I want to say this really clear, they better matter. You know, throw up is a weird one to be using too. That actually could cause someone else to get really sick as well. But, you know, you got to think about something. The magic you put out is somehow going to find a ricochet energy and find its way back to you. Because just it's the way energy is, ebb and flow, right? So if you put some shit out there, you're going to get some shit back. So be careful what you're actually doing when you're doing it. Like, make sure that person matters to you, or, you know, that, because if there's going to be a ricochet, they better matter if you're going to deal with it, right? They got to matter. They got to matter. And I'll be honest with you, there is nobody, not that I don't love my new friends that I have met up here with TikTok, but I don't know you in person. So in the end, if you were to go against me, not to be rude, but you wouldn't matter to me. I would simply block and remove the energy from me and hope one day, you know, if I really felt close to you, and I would hope one day you would come to understand my side and not be angry with me or whatever that was, right? But I wouldn't try to justify myself to you, because if you don't understand where I'm at or who I am, and you misunderstood me, that's on you, right? That's on you. Sweat, I think, could be used for work, to gain more work, to gain more metabolism, to gain more, unless of course the sweat came from blood pressure. And then if the sweat came from a blood pressure issue, you could use that to harm another. Apply pressure. Apply pressure. I'm sorry, what were you saying there, Kaylee? I don't understand. Sorry, I didn't follow that, honey. Oh, I see what you mean. Yes. Well, I'm glad you're understanding me. Thank you, Crystal. Yes, exactly. Absolutely, Kaylee. Ah, you're a good little witch. I like that. So and the whole point of, I'm sharing with you what I've learned, but I'll be honest with you, I haven't really read any of this in a book. None of it. In fact, my people want me to write books about shit like this because nobody talks about it, right? It's not just intuition, but thank you for that. I am intuitive, but it's not just that. It's a genuine connection with the universe and the earth. It's genuine. It's my friend. Hey there, Stacy. How's it going, love? It's genuine connection. And it's when you get out of your own way, trust me when I say this, when you get out of your own way, energy flows. And then you learn things and you know things and you're listening, listening to spirit. So I say that it's important for you to literally listen. And then this is the fun thing to do. This is one of the most fun things to do, for me anyways. When I figure out something like this, when I figure that out, when I get the understanding, when I connect with something and I start to pursue it and I go down that path and I stick with it for some time, I start to find information that corroborates what I'm saying. How would I remove external blockages so people can connect? How do you remove them? How do I remove them? Marijuana works pretty good. Having a drink works pretty good. Honest to God, having a glass of wine, I'm not even shitting you, for sure. Because most people who are blocked because of their own shit. So lighten the hell up, right? Yes, road opening. I was being a bit of an ass, but yeah. Thank you. But for sure, did I get your name as Jean, Witch of the Southeast? Is that your name, Jean? Can I use that? Jenny. Okay, thanks, honey. Oops, I don't know what I just did. Hang on a minute. Sorry. Could you guys tap the screen for a few minutes, please? Or seconds? Hang on a minute. Path clearing and reopening. Yeah. Chakra healing. To be honest with you, chakra healing, I think, is what I would do. But I mean, seriously, when I was saying blockages, most people put their own shit in front of them, right? Get out of your own way. Thank you. I appreciate that, hon. So I think that if you're a person who has a hard time getting out of your own way, that's why I said have a toke, have a glass of wine, have a drink, whatever it takes. Meditate, settle down, get out of your own way. Tell yourself to get the hell out of your own way, right? Right? Drumming would work too. Yes, I love it. Thank you. But definitely chakra healing helps, meditation helps, hot bath will help. But when you're talking about people and their blockages, most of the time it's them just need to kick their own ass. If you feel that you can't connect to other people, it's because you made a decision not to. It's the truth. It is, because it's easy to be, okay, like, Lux, you were having trouble. Your very first live is kind of weird, right? You're talking to the screen and you're like, is anybody there? Hello, is anybody there? Right? I know, because that's happened to me, and it's hard to do that. But what I learned was I can use my psychic skills, the way I connect with nature, the same way here. And so I do my best to just sort of get to know my people, get to know the energy. When I put out certain energy, I'm expecting certain energy to come into my space, into my life. Now you can see there's only 14 people in this room. And that's because I do not want just the average person hearing what we're talking about. So I put a cap on it. I put the block on it. I did. Me. So you can use that to stifle certain energy too. So I don't need to have moderators in here most of the time, because I actually do my best to call in what I want and to block what I don't want to deal with. And so, I mean, there's different ways to undo blockages. But if you're going to use a body part to destabilize a blocked energy, what do you think you would use? If it was a body fluid, what would you use? What do you think? Hey, from Ontario. Hey. Blood could be used. Yes. Blood could be used. Constipation. I wouldn't use that. I would use cum. Excuse me, but I would. Breath is another thing you could possibly use. But saliva, anything slippery. But not goopy like yucky phlegm. But more something that has, well, because if you consider cum, two people coming together, creating that body fluid, sexual fluid, right? That is no blockage. No blockage. I think the best thing I would use I would use that is to remove. If you're going to use body fluid, it would be that for me. Discharge. How would you use that? I wouldn't use that as a block, but you could use that. What would you use? Think about it for a second. What would you use discharge for? Something the body doesn't want. It's discharge. Something the body doesn't want. What would it be used for? It's something the body is expelling. Yes, would be for release of something. Yes. See? That's all you got to think about. You got to think naturally. It's like nature. Think like nature. So if the phlegm is trying to come out of you, that's another kind of release, right? It's another kind of release. But it's like discharge. It's very much the same kind of thing. Now, but if you're going to use two different things, if you're going to use discharge from the body, lower body, discharge from the upper body, think about that for a second. What is it you're trying to release? So if it's something from the lower body, you want to use lower body discharge. If it's something from the upper body, you want to use upper body discharge. Let's say you're trying to release stupid thinking. Stinky thinking. Let's say you're a person who's a fearmonger. Let's say you're a person who's always thinking the negative or thinking the worst, or somebody else you know is doing that. You want to use the upper body phlegm. Right? Exactly. What about earwax? Let's talk about earwax. I mean, seriously, you want to talk about body fluids? You can use every single body fluid you have in your body on the fly. Witchcraft on the fly is physical magic. So taking your body fluids, your body parts, and the earth and the elemental aspects of the earth and combining them all together to create a magical moment, a magical thrust, a magical spell. This is union, communion with the earth. This is communion with the universe. And this is, and when you've gathered all that energy and you pull it into you and you use these other energies and you weave it all together, then you can push it out. Then you can expand it, you know? Yeah. Discharge from the ear could be releasing difficulties hearing. Right? discharge from the ear could also be used into sealing somebody. Let's say you got a gossiper. You got somebody who's listening, trying to find out information from you, trying to hear things about you, or just so that they can repeat it and share it, or someone who's a snoop, who's listening to all your conversations only to find your weak spots. You could use earwax in a spell cast. You put their name on a paper, for instance, and you take your earwax and you wipe it on their name. And now they can't hear nothing about you. They don't find the circles that are conversating about you. They don't find the information that that would help them to proceed in such a gossiping ritual. So, we have a lot of witch talk. What do I want to call them? Let me see here. I don't know what to call them. Wannabe witches. I'm going to call them wannabe witches who probably have this much information and this much ability to make changes in the universe. And the reason they come after some other people, and they go after people, and they spend all their time doing videos and trying to out people and make people, it's just a bunch of bullshit. This is a clear example of someone who's not connected to the universe. All right? To me, I have no time for that bullshit. That doesn't mean if I wouldn't say that you're an asshole if you're an asshole, because I would. But I won't sit here and argue with you about it. I haven't got the time of day. I don't want to spend the time of day on such a thing. And if I did spend the time of day on such a thing, that says a lot about what I don't have in my life. That's what that does. So every time I watch people remaking videos about other people and bitching about them and what they said or what they did, that honest to God is I hate that. Honest to Goddess, it is a clear example that they have zero going on in their life, that they could spend time on such a frivolous, useless thing. So I honestly, why would you want to spend time on attacking anybody, even if they are assholes? Why would you want to spend time on attacking any of them when you could do something else? Right? Like, why? To me, it shows that they're not connected to the universe in a witchcraft way. They certainly aren't nature-wise if they're going after brothers and sisters. Sorry, you can't change my mind. Okay, you can never change my mind on that. When I see witches going after other people, that I'm telling you, they're wasting their bloody time. And if they don't smarten up soon enough and stop wasting their time, eventually I just stop following them, because I don't want it around me. It's bullshit. So I have used earwax to shut people away from me in a way where they can't hear anything about me. They don't even want to look for it, okay? Earwax can be used in that way. How else might you use earwax? I just thought of one as I'm sitting here. I might just do that. That's an interesting thing. I just thought of a neat way to use it that I never thought of before. I have a dog that barks all the time at everything because he's blind and he barks at everything. You could use it for that too, because you've removed it, right? But when you use it to smear on something, it's actually trying to suffocate it or to stifle its ability to hear, right? My dog's barking at something all the time. It's whatever it is. What if I used his own earwax on a spell to keep him from hearing things that bother his soul? Right? And that he finds peace in the quietness around him instead of seeking the noise. So see, it's intention as well, is the whole point I'm making, right? You put intention into everything you do. Think it through, though. Now, people say intention doesn't matter. Well, it does. The delivery guy, right, Stacey? So, I mean, I think that if we take a moment and we think about how you might use that body fluid, and you use intention while you're doing it, and common sense. See, witchcraft is common sense. It really is. It's not, people think it's really complicated. Well, it can be. You can make very complicated spells and you can work complicated magic. It is true. There's lots of complicated magic, but to use magic, physical magic, and to be a natural witch or a natural mystic, we'll call it that for a minute. To be a natural mystic is to have confidence that your communication with the earth and the universe is from your heart, coming from your heart, feeling it from your heart. Haven't you ever seen a double rainbow? Have you ever seen a double rainbow? And the feeling of seeing that double rainbow is like, or even just a rainbow, but a double one is like, oh my God, that's super special. And for that one moment, you literally feel like that was for you. That double rainbow, that rainbow came so you would see it, so you would get good luck, so you would have something to connect to, right? That's what that's about for you when you see it. Using that vibration in that one moment, you can make magic happen. I saw a double rainbow when I was trying to sell a house. Hey, Jem! And I used it to sell the house. I did. Because I felt so strongly that those two rainbows were there, one for me and one for the person who was going to buy the house, that it actually, it amplified the energy of me trying to sell the house, and it gave me this vibration of promise. And so I rode that wave until the house sold. And I sold my own house by myself without a real estate agent. And I did a rent to own with that person. And I really did that. I did a rent to own with that person. It took them a year to buy it. And at the end of the year, they were able to, because they had given me extra money for deposit. And then I sold that house myself. I did so. And I actually sold 2 properties with that magic. No shit. What about that earthquake wave and energy? What can we use that for now? I love that question. Kaylee, you're my girl. I love that question. And that is because I felt that earthquake for the first time in my life. I felt an earthquake. I'm sitting in my office doing my thing, and I'm like, what the hell? It felt like somebody slammed up against my building. I'm in a little kind of a bunkie, and I have a log cabin. My mom was in the log cabin, but I was in my bunkie. This is my bunkie where I am right now in my office. And I felt it. Where are you? Oh, yeah, you felt it. You did not feel it there. Did you? How strong was it, Stacy? You're quite a distance from me. That must have been coming from the water then. Wait. Oh, you didn't feel it. Okay. Sorry, I gotcha. You felt it in North Vancouver? You got the alert on your phone, Stacy. You're in the Okanagan, and Kaylee is in North Vancouver, and she felt it. Super strong there? Whoa. Yeah. Well, how did I feel? I'll tell you honestly, that energy made me feel like I feel the earth move under my feet. I feel the sky tumbling down. Remember that song? Right? So what it made me feel is that there's a shift, there's a change, there's an energy shift. And the earth is leading the way. She is alerting us to changes that are coming. And she's welcoming those. So it shook my building up in here, but my mom didn't feel it in the house. But I have a log cabin, right? It is alive. But what is she rumbling about? What is she grumbling about? And she didn't grumble very strong or very long. It was just a second. But it's like, to me, kind of like it's like she was having a nap and she turned on her side to make herself more comfortable, and that's what happened. Maybe she hit the lamp on the bedside. I have quite the imagination. Don't ask me shit. Like, unless you want an answer, because I got them all. My mother says I have an answer for everything. Sorry about that. Virgo ascendant, Scorpio moon. Can't help myself. Right, Kaylee, that's it. Saying, wake up, shift's coming, energy's shifting. I think that is a good way to use that. So I don't know, how could we capture, I guess interesting. Oh, you know what? You reminded me of something. When I came into my office, I went out and I guess the earth must have shook one more time. And I came back in and my photo albums, one of my photo albums has fallen on the ground. And this is an old photo album from 1976. And I thought, must have a message for me in here somewhere. Oh my God. Okay, so I'm opening up the photo album. And the first thing I see is an old boyfriend named Pat O'Neill. And he was the first person I ever lived with. Isn't that something? Do you want to see a picture of me when I was a kid? I was 16. I'll show you a picture. I don't know if you can see it. Hang on a second. Hang on. Let's see if I can swing this around. Can I swing this around? I don't know if I can. I don't think I can. All right, let me see here. All right, here we go. I don't know if you can see it, so I'm going to try to... That's me with one of my dogs and my cats. Right there. Short, dark hair. And skinny. And skinny woman. Oh my goodness. So I wondered, Oh, thanks, Jem. I wondered, why did this fall? Oh yeah, I had a lot of boyfriends. Oh, here's what here. Oh yeah, here. So that's Pat O'Neill. He had long hair, and that's his twin brother. And we all lived together. It was really fun, We lived together. Thank you, Crystal. And there he is. Look how cute he is. Eh? Yeah. So I guess, isn't that interesting? You rager? What are you? Oh my God, yeah. So why did this fall? So I'm looking at that earthquake as a message about something, right? Because of this. So I'm like, what does that mean? Am I going to get skinny again? I would sure like to have a little less pounds on my ass, I can tell you that. What do we got here? Huh. From Stately Beginnings, Jarvis Street, Toronto. Why is that in there? So, I don't know. I guess, what am I... Oh, that's interesting. Interesting. You know what, Stacy? It's so funny that you say that, because that's what I was just thinking. Somehow, I didn't talk about any of my younger years. I talked about my years in the 40s, late 30s and 40s. But I had some amazing love affairs when I was younger, too. To be honest with you, I do believe I have used up all my dance cards. I think they're all used up because I've had so many boyfriends and so many opportunities, and I just keep saying no, thank you. But my friend Ursa said something that kind of, I'm like, I think that's me. I think that maybe the earthquake reawakened the opportunity. I was thinking that when I was just looking through that. I'm like, am I going to meet the last guy I'll live with? You think I'm not done yet? But I'm not unhappy unless I watch a romantic movie and then all of a sudden I find some tears. But I don't feel like I'm unhappy overall being alone. I don't. I do feel as if it's been. I'm gonna send you some things. I love you, Crystal. I don't know you, but I love you already. You're such a cutie. You really are. I don't know you well, but I'm getting to know you. You know who I collect? Kind people. Well, I am pretty happy, in generally speaking. Although I don't like, I do have my little weaknesses though. They're there, and apparently I'm pretty spicy. Some of my friends say I'm kind of spicy, but probably because I have an attitude and I have an opinion. I haven't been looking Mama Wolf for a long time, and anyone who showed up was like not worth my time. Sorry. I have absolutely absolutely no patience for nonsense anymore. That's your jam, is it? Yeah, spicy and sweet, that'd be me. Not good at everything, but that's your thing. Love and sex. You know what one of my things is helping people get pregnant. And I have a lot of children under my belt if you look at all that. It's one of my biggest and strongest things is helping people get pregnant. And I managed to do it myself when they told me I would never have children. And that's a thing, like I wouldn't help. I wouldn't do a spell for someone if I couldn't do it for myself, because it means I don't have the skill. Like if someone wanted me to give them a spell for losing weight, I personally wouldn't be the person to go to because I'm overweight, right? If someone wanted to spell on, to find their lover, relationships, to find a lover, I mean, I know the logistics around doing it, but because I'm not good, well, maybe I am really good at it. I've had so many. I guess I just don't have holding power or tolerance power. I do have the ability to attract love and to attract lovers. I've done it enough. So no, that wasn't a good example. I think that I would be very good at doing a relationship spell. But a long-term relationship spell, maybe not. Because I don't have any patience for it. I have patience though, but just not for that. Can you track my love? Can you track my love? I don't know what that means, Miracle. Explain. I do have love for self, yeah. Your love life is lonely? Yeah. Yeah, well, like I said, that I think I could do a spell for relationship finding, but I don't think that'd be my strongest point. You're going to get an uncle, are you? At Stomping Grounds. I married a native man, Crystal. He was Ojibwe. He's passed, that's why I say he was. And he was a beautiful person, but in the end, he wasn't my person, was he? If I've done something weird to my eyes here, what's happening? It's like my eyes went blue. What happened? How did my eyes go blue? Do you see that? They're like blue. Blue and lashes and blue eyes. Well, I look good with blue eyes. I think I'll just keep it like that. That's funny. I think I put my thing on for eyelashes, just for lashes, but I didn't know I'd hit a thing for blue eyes, but that's cool. I just noticed it after all this sitting and chatting. So yeah, let's get back to you dig it. Yeah. Let's get back to the body fluid thing and the elemental aspects of using body fluids and stuff. So let's talk about relationships. So I would use, just to go back to that, I would use sexual body fluids to encourage what's happening. So silly, TikTok. What are you doing? You think someone put a spell on your husband to hate you. I'm sorry, I got distracted. What do you mean make a sigil? TikTok was having me make puzzle pieces fit. for Christ's sakes. What'd you say, honey? I missed it. Or what did I say? Make a sigil for what? I don't know, Miracle, unless you know some witches that... Oh, yes. Yes, a sigil with your fluids. Absolutely. Especially if you put your fluid... Let's say there's someone that you've been dating or really liking a lot. Although some people say you should not do... and you should never do magic to draw someone to you, a particular someone. But you can do an overall someone, like drawing the right man to you. But to actually put a spell on a particular person is really not kosher. However, let's suppose you've been dating that person for some time and you want them to marry you. Okay, you could do a nice sigil with both your names. Yeah, you could do that. And all other things you could. Let's say you wanted the court to go in your favor. You could take the court or the... don't do it. Don't do it. I fucked up. If you're talking about calling a particular person in, the old wives' tale says, if you try to manipulate a man or a woman to be your lover and that goes against them, it's without their will, without their consent, you'll end up with someone who's a pretty shitty person. And you'll learn from it. You'll learn the hard way. And then the harder thing will be getting rid of the bastard. So, be careful putting magic on somebody else's name. Okay? You could use a fluid to dress the candle. Absolutely. 2 candles. Absolutely. I would, and I have. I've done that. Yeah, you can. And like talking about using this type of physical magic to enhance your prayer work, your spell casting, is kind of a taboo. It really is. And I think that it's too bad because these are really old methods, right? They're really old methods. Let's suppose when, think of how many times have you seen a movie where someone got, they took somebody and they put them in handcuffs and they spit in that police officer's face, for instance. That's a curse. 16 years ago, eh? And you're happy now? Good. No, it's not, Gemma. You can do that. I threaten you with a good time, right on. No, it's not. When you're trying to cast away someone from you, blocking someone from you, there's no problem in mentioning their name. In fact, you need to. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm talking more about when you draw someone to you against their will, okay? That is a taboo. How do you break a spell? There's lots of ways to break a spell. Miracle, what's happening to you is first of all, you believe there's been a spell put on you. Yeah. That's part of the spell's power, let's say, okay? Because you believe it happened. So let me just get it really clear. Whoever put a spell on you, you would have had to matter to them. Are you saying that maybe there is someone who wants your husband? Because if that's what you think, that there's someone who wants your husband, and they put a spell on you, your mother-in-law said she did it before she died. Was she a witch? Was she Italian? Was she coming from a traditional witchcraft family? Or native family even? Or some kind of pagan family, Norse even? All right. Do you know where she died? Do you know where her body is? Do you have access to that area? She is in the USA. Her body is in the USA and you are not. Is that correct? How far away? Are you anywhere near her? The cemetery's there and you are not. Is that what you're saying? You're in Canada. All right. Can you get a picture of the house where she died? Or where she said this to you? Or where she did this to you? Because if you could, this is what I would do. And any of my witches here who want to pipe up an idea or thought around this, please go ahead. I'm just going right off the seat of my pants because this is how I do it. This is how I do it. Jem knows I love that song. All right, so I would get the picture of the house and I'd put it in front of me. And I would imagine them in the house, on the house, around the house, however it is you want to do it. I would imagine that. I would get a vision in my mind of them. Okay? And hold it strong. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to visualize this for now, and now we're going to also put in there black column. What do you mean by black column, hun? Are you talking about an energy? A tunnel of energy? Rafters. Okay. So what I want you to do is think about this place, and I want you to see yourself standing there with your hands on your hips, because this makes you bigger and stronger and more powerful. Okay, put your hands on your hips and you say, or you write this down and then repeat it. You write down what you want to stop. Okay, you write down what you want to stop. For instance, anything that you may have put on my family or my partner, I want it to end. I want it to stop. I want it to be broken. I want it to be a disconnect. And now you can use magical herbs or candles. You can use a lot of things like that. But I'm going to tell you a simple thing is stomping your feet. No! You do not have any more control of me. Both feet. 1, 2. Just like that. And you do it hard. Like an earthquake. So that they can feel it there. Okay? And you literally, and because you don't know magic in the way that we do, I'm trying to tell you something that's simple. Okay? You need to regain your control. You need to stand your ground. That's why the stomping of the feet. Stomping out their ability to be on your path, to be on your wave. I don't know that you had the type of curse. Yes, exactly. Exactly, Lux. I don't know what type of curse they may have put on you, and that, you know, really depends on the level of knowing and what they're familiar with and how much strength they had. But if the very fact that she wanted to undo that before she died is there, if that is a fact, that is a weak point in the link, which is exactly where you want to face. So when you're going into this house in your imagination, in your mind, you're also going there in there knowing that she wanted to help you take that thing away, for instance, okay? Who is in Nigeria? I thought you said they were in the United States. Okay, well, the very fact is, she wanted to undo that. The MIL is Nigerian. Okay. So she might have some really good medicine, actually, to be honest with you, if that's the case. If that's the kind of magic she has. A lot of black folk are pretty strong magically. And they come from the ATER. So I don't know much about that kind of magic, but I know it's strong. Okay, I know it's strong. Any kind of traditional people's magic would be very strong. So, with that being known, but she still wanted to undo it for you. So you could go into that. That's one thing I would do first. All right, if you know anything about, it would be, she would have to look that all up. Yeah. Yeah, because they know their stuff. They know their stuff. But if she wanted to undo it and unravel it, you could actually see yourself doing it. It's sort of like a psychic surgery. So once you're in that house and you know that, you go for that weak link, right? You go for where that is and you think about that conversation that she wanted to help take that away. And you see yourself unraveling it with her, right? And then you begin that and you stomp, and you, like I was saying, you have to find the right place to stomp. You have to find the right energy to stomp. You think it all through and you do it like that. Okay, it's the best I can give you on such a short notice. And here, there are herbs that will help, and there are candles that will help, and there's other people that could help you with that. There's often a metaphysical store somewhere near you that has someone who can do these workings. And if there's anyone here that's near you to help you. I'm in Canada, in British Columbia. You can come see me here or make an appointment and we can talk more about what else you can do. But that's my quick and dirty information. Yeah, I don't think we can actually manage it here, Miracle. Sorry to say, that's the best I got for you. Stomping negative energy out and seeing yourself unravel something, finding that weak link. You could use body fluids in that way in fact, an easier way to do this would be just to do a love spell between you and your husband using your body fluids of sexual energy. And it doesn't have to be sexual energy that you made together. It could be your own. Somebody said using discharge could be used for, we were talking about discharge and what it could be used for. You could use it for that, to discharge anything that she put on you as well. You could use the masturbation semen of your own to attach yourself to your partner, put that on a candle, say some prayers over it, that type of thing. Absolutely, Stacy. You see, it's a whole thing. When you're stomping, you stop the energy from flowing, and then you are free to dance, to play, to do your thing, right? I don't think he fell out of love with you in 24 hours. I don't think so. So, we're going to move on, though, Miracle. So, thank you. I hope that was helpful to you. Yeah, you got to get him back in. I think it happened in a much longer time than 24 hours, though. You're welcome, hon. You're welcome. So, yeah, using different body fluids is going to be important for you, right? It's going to be important for you to just think of your being as a physical part of the universe and how you can co-create with it, right? How can you co-create with the universe? You know, there's so much that we can do. Like, here's for instance, I was raised in, it really is, menstrual blood can be very helpful. In fact, I believe, I'll tell you the truth, I used menstrual blood in a ritual to purchase some property on Penetanguishene Road in Barrie, Ontario. It was 7.5 acres. And I've actually used body fluids to get every single property that I have. But this one particular property was a much harder property to get. It had a 6-unit motel on it, a 2-bedroom cabin, and a 4-bedroom house. Beautiful property, and had a big river going right through it, and it was 2 acres on one side and 5 on the other, and there was food, all natural food growing, fiddleheads and trout lilies, and oh gosh, all kinds of good things. And it was a beautiful spot, it really was. And I really, really wanted this property. I had driven by it many, many times. And I literally, while I was on my period, brought my mother and me over to this property, and I sat on the earth and I bled into her and I peed on her, and my mom peed on her, and we talked about how this property should be mine. And at the time, there was an offer on the property, and it was a multimillionaire, who had put an offer on the property. And here I am, a single woman, I own my own business, and just, getting by, doing good, but getting by. To be really super honest, I couldn't believe it when I found out that the person who was trying to get the financing was denied it. In fact, the house before that, also the house I was living in on Rose Street, that house was also financially denied. There was an offer on that one as well, and it had been financially denied. I'm having trouble saying the word financially. Anyway, both of these houses had been financially denied, and here I am, this single woman with my own business, who was given the money. It was unreal. Every single property I have owned, I managed to get when I shouldn't have. Okay? That is a true story, true fact. And it was always with body fluids. And this one particular property, I paid $350,000 for the 7.5 acres property. I bought it in 2006. Yep. 2006, I bought it for $350,000. I sold it in 2020. 2021. I sold it myself to a neighbor. During COVID, I sold it, and I got what did I get? $1,000,075, almost 1.1. And I did that myself. And it started out at 1 million because I had a vision that I wanted 1 million to be a millionaire. Yes, it is. Absolutely. That's the whole point of it. If you don't believe in yourself, how is the universe going to believe in you? If you don't put the energy out there, remember I was saying about the rainbows, and I used the promise of the rainbow energy to help me make that sale. It's vibration, right? It's tuning into that positive energy, that promise. And I use you use fluid to sell property too? No. I'll be honest with you, I had a hell of a time initially because my property loved me so much. There was so many spirits on that property. In fact, I have a video of me walking around with orbs all around me. And there was a whole bunch of other people. They didn't have the orbs. I had them all around me. But I felt those fairies. There. I really did. Yeah, it wanted me to stay. It really did. It took me a year to sell that property, a year and a half. Yeah, that was the thing I had to do. To be honest with you, Crystal, I had to remove things. I had to ask the spirits to please let me go. And I'd invited them to follow me if they wanted. Otherwise, I promised to visit them whenever I was back. And I did. I went to visit them when I first came back. I went over to that little section, that 2-acre section I told you about. I went over there, and as soon as I was coming onto the property, I heard all the birds singing. They were all singing, and I come onto the property. They were singing, had the windows open. They were singing. I opened the door, and I stood on the ground, 1 foot on the ground, 1 foot. And every bird stopped singing for a second. Every one of them. Every bird stopped singing. And I'm like, it's me. It's Tamara. Oh, hey, Slavic. It's me. It's Mama. I came home. And then they all started singing again. They were all singing, and they all went crazy. And it's like they were all talking at once. They were so happy to see me. And then they started coming out of the trees. Some of the birds and they're coming out of the trees and coming closer to me. And I sat on that earth and just cried and told her how much I missed her. Wished I could bring her with me to BC. Yes, it was a specific tree. Of course you knew that, didn't you? I had the best tree there. It was a cedar tree. It had a big, big burl in the front, like a pregnant mama. And I used to go up to her. I got pictures of her. I'll show them one time when I find them again. And I used to go up to her every time I seen her and give her a big hug and tell her I love her and kissed her all the time. I don't know how many stories I told that tree. I don't know how many times I asked that tree to help bring in a certain energy, and I don't know how many times I was rewarded by it coming to me. Trees gossip more than TikTok, y'all still talk. I love it. I think you're right. Oh, yes. That's right, honey. That's right, Stacy. Yes, that's an interesting correlation. You're absolutely right. Hey, I'll see what friends do for you. They help you see everything. I didn't even think of that, but you're absolutely... Oh, you know what? I had another amazing tree on that property too. But it was a complicated relationship, let's say. Okay, so there was this willow tree there. What a beautiful willow tree. I have pictures of her too. She was a goddess. I got a picture of her that looks like a person, like in a tree with her arms up, eh? And oh, she's a beautiful, beautiful tree. But beside her was another willow, a big, huge willow. And I'd say that I was the grandfather, right? And she was the grandmama. Yes, they are gorgeous. Well, when I first bought the property, this big old grandfather willow tree was there. And by the time I moved onto the property, how did that happen? Let me just think for a quick second. Okay, by the time I moved onto the property, it was June I moved onto the property. By January, it was in January, when all of a sudden this tree was hit by lightning. And it went down. Was it in January? Give me a second here. No, it wasn't January. Sorry. It was April. It was March and April, somewhere in there. And this tree got hit by lightning. Yeah, it was definitely March or April because it was a spring energy coming in, and the tree got hit by lightning and it came down. All right. It came down. And it was the saddest thing, this big, beautiful tree down on the ground. And I contacted my brother-in-law, who came over at some point with a chainsaw, because it was a very big tree. We had to cut it up and put it, just clean up the mess that it had made coming down. And while he was doing that, he was cutting through this big, huge limb that was sticking out. He cut through it, and I was watching me, he pulled the chainsaw up, and I saw this dripping coming off the chainsaw. And I'm turning around because I'm walking the other way, and then I hear him yell. And I turn around and I look back, and I don't know why I didn't think there was something. What was that on the chainsaw? I do have pictures of all of this stuff. So anyways, he pulls the chainsaw up, and this dripping stuff is, and I'm still walking forward. He yells. I turn around and I look at him, and he's jumps down. He's got the chainsaw in his hand, and he throws the chainsaw down, and he starts running. And I look up, and there's this big black cloud over his head. And I'm like, dude, run. I realized that it's bees. It was a freaking huge shadow cloud of bees. And he's running like just booking it. And I said to him, run to the river. So, and I'm pointing to the river, telling him to go to the river. And he starts going towards the river. And then all of a sudden, all those bees turn around and go the other way. And I'm like, he stops before he gets to the river, lucky, because it was cold. He would have been freezing. But that's the only thing he could have done, right? Because there was that many bees. Like, there were thousands of bees around him. And so we go back, and what it was that limb on that tree, I think that part of the tree was dead, which is why it went down so easily when it got hit by lightning. So that part of that limb, which was a good must have been, I'm going to say about 14 inches wide. Haha, I got a story about snakes around the same river. Yeah. So anyways, it was this big, and it was inside was a beehive that was 3 feet long and a foot round. So what had happened was he had cut straight through that beehive, and the bees just freaked right out. And of course, the reason he was saved from the bees is because the queen bee called them back, because she was there. Yeah, exactly, Kaylee. So I had to call a beekeeper to come and get them, and I watched him whisper them right home. I couldn't believe how incredible that was. And I'm allergic to bees. Let's just put that out there. So I had to be really careful, really mindful. But I did go back out there and saw them all hovering around on a piece of the branch, and it looked like a furry branch. There were so many of them. You can control the weather. I have a story about that too. Honest to God, Crystal, you and I should start talking about some freaking wonderful things. You and I have got some very interesting similarities. No wonder you feel an attraction to me. Very cool to watch. It was incredible, actually. It was incredible to watch. But that tree, the story of this tree continues. And the story is this. I cleaned everything up. I got those bees a good home. I honored that tree. I apologized to the bees for disturbing them. I did all that I could. And in that weird time, I ended up being in a show, in an expo, in a corner. I was in a corner marked number 16, which represents the tower card, just incidentally. And on both sides of me were beekeepers and their honey and all their supplies. And it was the only area in this thousands of people in this show, this expo. They were the only two people that sold honey. So I took the message from there that I was the queen bee. And in the community that I was working in Barrie, Ontario, I really was the queen bee when it came to witchcraft and metaphysicals. And so I took it as that. And I realized that I had a responsibility as well at that time. And I took that very seriously. And I took that on as a true queen. In honor, not in such a way where I have power over you, but that I am empowered with the ability to be queen-like and to be cared for and to be honored by my community. And so I had to really work with that, because I was attacked by what I call the light workers back then. They did not appreciate me. In fact, I did a little video on how light workers are born from Doreen Virtue. I don't know if anybody ever heard that, but I absolutely believe it. But they were pissy with me. They didn't like me very much because I wasn't speaking the Christian language in any way. You saw that one? Because it really is true. They were so vicious. I mean, can you imagine? They were supposed to be light workers, and they were the most vicious people I'd ever come across in my whole life were light workers. It was fucked up. But anyway, I don't know where I was in my crazy storytelling. Because every time I think about those light workers, I just shake my head at the ridiculousness of it all. Willow tree. Ah, Stacy, thank you, sweetie. Yeah, so my willow tree ended up, this is the fun story about the willow tree. After all the lessons it gave me, and there was hundreds of them, I can't even tell you, and it became the most magical place, one of the most magical places on my property. And it grew what I would call a fairy house. So what was left of the tree was only about 5 feet tall. And there was this, like a cove, like a little spot that you could get inside the tree if you wanted to sit in there, right? And I never did, but I imagine, I just didn't want to disturb it. It was such a beautiful thing, really, to be honest with you. It was a morbid beauty. It was weird. I can't explain it to you. But over the years, I realized the fairies were in there. And then this tree started to grow out of it. And it was growing, and it was a good 8-10 feet, something like that. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And yeah, there were mushrooms there. And there was, there was raspberries. Raspberries grew all around this. It was just stocked full of raspberries. In fact, I have a story about the fairies that I met there. And it was this willow tree that preserved them for me. So the stories of the fairies is an amazing story. When I realized how much raspberries were there, I came in there one day, and I had 2 buckets, a big, huge yogurt buckets, and I cut little slits in them, and I put a little belt through it, and I put it around my waist, so I had like holster buckets. I was going raspberry picking, and so I went out into this little area, and I asked before I went in there, because it was full of burrs and raspberries. And so I was dressed properly, and I asked the fairies to please allow me to go inside and to pick the raspberries, and that I promised to make really good yummies with them and share them with children and all that stuff. And I did. I got in there, and I promise you, this is a true story. Promise. I didn't get one thistle, not one little cut, not one scrape, not nothing, and I filled up both those buckets. But the most incredible thing that happened wasn't just the fact that I got in and out of there without a scratch and I got all those raspberries, but I was given a song. I was given a song, and I was communicating with the fairies in this realm, this raspberry realm. I was communicating with them through song, and I had no idea what I was singing. It was just coming out of me, and it was coming out of me in the limerick of an Irish sound, or Irish, what do you call it? Accent. That's what I'm looking for. Came out of me like with an Irish accent, and everything rhymed. I was amazed. But I was in the moment and unable to really realize how incredible it was. It wasn't until I came out of it that I realized I had been whipped into the most magical world for a few moments. Now, the sad part of that story, then there is a sad part. The sad part of that story was, in that spring, we were cleaning up. We created a team with my son's friends, and they had big scissors and all kinds of garden tools, and they went out there to clean up. Well, this kid, my son's friend, got a hold of one of the chainsaws, and he literally cut that brand new willow that was trying to grow out of that tree. Well, I was so freaking pissed off at him. I really was. I couldn't even talk to him. I was so pissed off at what a total turkey he was for doing that. And to believe this story is true, every single raspberry cane moved to a different area away from that willow tree, and they shot 20 feet either side of this tree and went to whole different areas. And I never saw any raspberries the following year. It wasn't until the second year that I realized they had all ran away. They ran away from the sound of that. You know why? Because they were brand new babies. And they were just waking up, and he scared the shit out of them with that chainsaw. And I'm pretty sure that willow tree cried like crazy when it was cut down, and I was so mad at him. So I never got any raspberries that year, and my tree stopped growing. Like, oh my God, I was so mad at him. That was a sad day. I lost my grandfather tree, the second one. And it's funny because I had seen that tree as Skylar, my son energy, right? I saw that as, so the grandfather died, but then it reborn, right? A son. And I saw that as my son. And yet it was my son and his dumbass friend who cut it down. It did regrow. Not that tree, of course. Not that particular tree, but another tree did begin to grow. And I'm not sure what's happened with it now because I'm not there. But yeah, that all happened. I don't know how I got into that crazy story. But it was a good old story. And by the way, my sweat and tears, Willow protected you and led you out of death. Oh, cool. How did that happen, Lux? Welcome. Yeah. Yeah, I got that. Are you about to answer me, Lex? Because I'm waiting for you. Okay, well, I'm gonna do something for all my friends who are in here who have a subscription. Stacy, Gemma, Family native red willow, and I had one out of my window. Oh, yes. We used to use the red willow to make drum mallets for the big powwow drums. Anyways, I'm willing to do a few readings for any of you wonderful people that are here tonight, that are my subscribers. Would you like a card? Sap from a tree. Oh, yeah, I have a story about that too. Red willow, it's not really a willow tree. It's called dogwood, I believe. Okay, here you go, Stacy. This is for you. Oh, that's interesting. Ooh, that's interesting. All right. All right, let's see what we got here for my friends. Here, so this is what you got there, Stacy. You got the Empress card, which speaks about being connected to Mother Earth. Isn't that wonderful? And having the Earth work with you. And also, I think, we often forget the crown that the Empress wears there, and it's full of stars. So this is like stars in her head, and ideas in her mind, and thoughts that she can create. And she has pomegranates, or some people say there's strawberries. It could be pomegranates or strawberries. Let's just look at the whole idea of fruit, and all the things that fruit represents is the creation of. So when we plant a seed, we watch it grow. It grows into something amazing, and eventually we get fruit, and more seeds come from the fruit. So this is constant cyclic energy of abundance and work, the cycle energies of the earth. And you will be among the stars. So I'm going to say that some really good vibes coming your way, Stacy. You may need to walk away from something that has been on your path, though. Someone or some ones. People who are not of your vibration anymore. It does look like you might be trying to nurture them, or trying to nurture them along, or but I think you might get more luck in walking away. I think you might get more luck in playing disinterested. And if anything, they'll return to you and come to you. So sort of like a whisper. Right? Sort of like a whisper. And if you sort of walk away, eventually they're going to come around. I would say once their reality is realized. And this is their reality. Not a good one. Bad news energy. And they're working through it. But yeah, that's what you get, my dear. Right? Okay. So you were able to fit that all into your reality. Good. Okay, I got Gemma here, who has a subscription. I might do some yes/no questions. Just let me get my subscribers first, okay? Yes, and I'll give anybody who's been in the live or was in the live, I'll do a question for you, sure. Hang on a second. All right, so this is for my Gemma girl. Oh, look at that. You have this beautiful card. And, oh, right on, Crystal. Thank you. Okay, so this beautiful card speaks of happy home, happy family, opportunities of marriage, gatherings of joyful experiences. And that's what you're seeking. This is what I think you're seeking, Gemma. And you don't want to fight. You got the Seven of Wands in reverse. You don't want to fight. You don't want to fight it. You don't want to deal with the bullshit. And I think dealing with it is causing you some depression. So it looks to me like you're going to get out there and try to find new space, new energy, new opportunities. And I got positive cards here for you. So the Temperance card's the final card I'll give you on that. And definitely, I'd say that's going to really be helpful to you. So, and I think everything that you're looking for is on its way. I swear to God, that's what I'm seeing. So if you're thinking about doing magic around creating a new home space for yourself, I say you do it. And don't hold back, girlfriend. You're going to get exactly what you're thinking about. Fluids in the Temperance card. You got it. Good. There you go. So then you could place that. I'm glad to see. I see I got a couple of new subscribers. Oh, yes, Earth Haven. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let me see. Okay, Crystal and somebody else I saw in here. Was that Crystal and two? Was there a second person who did as well? I just don't want to miss anyone, making sure. Is Kaylee still here? Kaylee, are you still here, hon? Oh, Witch of the South. Yes, Jenny. Okay. Okay, so I got to do Kaylee first because she's been waiting, and then I'll go through the new subscribers, and then whoever didn't subscribe, if you're still here, I might give a card. But I'm going to give more time and attention to my new people and my old people. Okay, so this is for Kaylee. Here you go, girl. Thank you. All right, Kaylee. Oh, poor judgment. Be mindful of poor judgment. It will create a disharmonious situation and bad news all the way around. If it has to do with, I don't know. I got the Tower card again, and usually when I get the Tower card, it speaks of some sort of awakening, some sort of illumination, okay, where all of a sudden you see something for what it really is, for what it really, really, truly is, okay, and then justice prevails in the end. So this is a really good card for you to get in the back door for that. But this poor judgment, whose is that? Is that yours or someone else that there is some legal situation around? Because I'll say this, Kaylee, be mindful of making a decision that keeps you in a treadmill of doing the same old. Be mindful of that, okay? Yeah. Yeah, tonight is a good night for that. Absolutely, girl. I love it when all the witches are around me. Oh, I love witches. Does that fit? Can you fit that, Kaylee? Do you get it, honey? I'm being told to tell you to retreat. Take a moment. You break things down at work and build it up again. Yeah, so this would be a rest period at this point. Dealing with injustices and nonsense like that, it's going to be stressful and difficult. But just take a break every once in a while, and be watchful of those that do not put a lot of energy into what they're doing. So maybe people who work half-ass, those are the people you want to give the Tower to. Okay? All right. So I have Jeannie or Jenny. Jeannie or Jenny. I'm not sure how to say that. Jeannie? No, it's Jenny. Jenny. And Crystal. Okay, good. All right, let's see. This is going to be for... Crystal said she wanted to go last, but I'm going to do Crystal now because, Jenny, you got this subscription after her. I'm going to go in the order that I remember it, okay? So, Crystal, this is for you, girl. That's right, Kaylee. All right, Crystal, think about what you want to know about love. Thanks, Jenny. Appreciate that. Think about it. Here we go. This is your message. Be mindful of a codependent situation you might be trying to pull yourself out of. If you're not feeling respected, if you're feeling abandoned, rejected, anything like that, this is an unhealed situation that you need to really look at. Is this harmonious to your soul? Are you being treated as if you are the goddess that you are? Are you being treated with the energy that you are of hierarchy, that you are of value? I want to, yeah, you get shit. I'm sorry, girlfriend. I didn't mean to do that. I just do what I'm told. But it does say, oh, look at that. And it does say that what you got to do is this. See this? This is the mother card. Now, I got to remind you of the mother energy because right underneath it is this one. I'm going to give it to you, baby. Here we go. Now, the way to find happiness is to actually kick some ass. And to me, it looks like if you're not getting back what others, okay, if you're putting out this good energy and you're not getting it back, if you're putting out effort and you're not getting it back, this is where you got to check in. This is where you got to go, no, 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 no. Stop giving when you're not getting. Start putting boundaries up, expectations up, and making it clear that your needs need to be considered. You need to do that, okay? And this is you showing love to yourself, you nurturing self. And I'm talking about everything, every kid, every partner, every animal, every situation. If something is pushing you around and pushing you to your max, you need to draw some hard lines and expect these needs to be met. You do put out a lot, I can see that, but you do not get the return that you deserve. I am saying to you that you need to start sticking up for yourself, standing in your power, expecting good things to come your way, and you need to see it. You're valuable, that you are that valuable, that you deserve that. Once you do that, so you got this world card. I'm going to tell you something. It looks to me like your world is going to change. Lots of interesting things are going to be juggled out of your life, and other things will be juggled in as those situations become clear to you. If you're not feeling like putting all your energy into something, if you're feeling like only doing a half-ass job, and if you're seeing other people only doing a half-ass job, that is a sign to walk away from it. It's a sign not to stay in it. If you don't feel like putting the effort into it, or someone doesn't feel like putting an effort into something, then get rid of them. Simple. Get rid of them. Walk away. Let go. And also, this card here is the Hermit card. It is in reverse. When I get that in reverse, it tells me that the possibility of unfaithfulness or disloyalties of some kind are the first things you want to clip away. Okay? Can you place all that, my love? Yeah. If you're giving understanding and homage to anyone who has experienced abuse, look at the cards. Anyone who's been experienced some kind of childhood abuse, I'm going to say it's childhood abuse, okay? That might be the area you need to start putting boundaries and carving stuff away. We have to be mindful of codependent relationships. Maybe your heartstrings are being pulled in an area that you need to draw some boundaries around. And because maybe you wouldn't behave that way if your heartstrings weren't being pulled so hard. Hurt people do hurt people. Okay, so big changes need to come, and I'm being told to tell you that do nothing unless you feel passionately connected to it. Okay, do nothing. And I do see you being able to, or putting out some energy of advising, advisements or teachings, or how do I put this? You have lots of knowledge. You have lots of knowledge, but you need to teach more so that you learn more skills in teaching. You actually need to, and you need to maybe set things up and get a flow going on. And do that a couple of times. You might be really hard on yourself the first couple of times that you put that energy out there, but don't be. Your knowledge is there, your wisdom is there, your skills and teachings need to be learned by experience, honey, and that's what I got for you. I hope that makes sense. Okay? Where's my Jenny girl? Is she in here still? Right on. Good. You're welcome. You're welcome. Hey, Jen. All right. Think of what you need to talk about, whatever it is Spirit needs to talk to you about. We're going to do that now. You are welcome, Crystal, my love. Jenny, you got a beautiful, look at this beautiful card you got. The first one you got. It's a Sun card. Beautiful card to have. I would say that you attract people. Unfortunately, here's the one thing. You do attract people who maybe had some hard times, and maybe you yourself has had some hard times. But the one thing I like about you is how you know that you need to keep stepping over the difficult times. You know that life is a bunch of ebb and flows, good and bads, happy and sads. You know this. You know this. But your spirit is liberated. Your spirit is kind. Your spirit is joyful, is loving, is able to lift other people also into places. You're very supportive and kind to those around you that you love. And this here tells me that, the Fool card tells me that opportunity may come your way. It's almost like the more gifts, the more kindness, the more love that you put out there, Spirit is paying attention to that and is really happy to offer some up to you. So I'd say some new opportunities are coming your way. And to take the path of least resistance, yes, but 100% the path less traveled. So this has to be a new thing that you haven't done before, okay? It can't be something that you almost did or you half-assed did and you're going back to. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something brand new. And look at this beautiful card. This is the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups says it is a passionate connection. It is something that is 100% of your soul and will birth many opportunities in the end. Look at this other card. You've got Girlfriend. Look at these freaking amazing cards. Holy shit, look at this. Okay, hold on a minute. Oh, yeah. Love it. Okay. So look at this. You've got a number of Major Arcana cards. Just want to point that out. Major Arcana cards usually speak of being on a karmic pathway or a karmic energy vein. Okay. So you're actually in a karmic situation that is pulling you towards a destined place that is already sort of destined, created for you. So, and this is what I'm saying is happening. And you've got the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is in reverse, which usually means she's a kick-ass bitch and takes no shit. I like that about whoever that is. But the Queen of Pentacles, she is usually a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn vibration. She's very business-wise, very motherly, very straightforward, likes a nice house, likes things in order, that type of a thing. Either is very good with the earth or good with gardening or cooking, something like that. So yes, she's a boss lady. But she's also a homebody in some ways, not in the way of a Cancer, let's say, but certainly in the way of she likes her home a certain way. She likes it to function and to be organized in order for her to stay busy out there in the workforce. She wants to come home to something that's got, organization. And so definitely that energy's there. And look at this friggin' card I'm going to say here. This is the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles means whatever is on your mind here, whatever thought that is, all good energy, you're going to be given opportunity. Look at this energy. Someone is giving, charitable, generous, kind. That is you, but it's also what you receive in the end, because it is you. All right. So I don't know what you guys are talking about, but all I can say is, I love what I'm seeing. And look, that final card is money and foundation of security long term. What are you talking about? Tell me now. I gotta know it all. Oh my God. And she says the word love and I get the love card. Crystal, you are some little witchy freak. Okay. This card here is about love, is about arrows of love finding their way, good communication, and possibly getting your wish within 2 weeks. 2 months. 2 months. Possibly getting your wish. Getting your wish within 2 months. What's that about? Do tell. That was fun. There's a couple things. Good. That was quite a good reading. I'm very glad to be able to give you that reading. Would you say that you've had some, quite a few hard times in the let's say, recent past, feeling like you got taken down, I just want to remind you of that yellow that's right there. Ah, thank you. See that yellow there? That says the horizon's coming. Good shit's on its way. Gemma, it's okay, sweetheart. I'm going to close soon. Love you, honey. You are amazing, Jenny. What I saw here is you have been stead-free kind, but you got a kick-ass behind you, too. I mean, nobody wants to fuck with you. That's what I see in the type of personality you have. Nobody better fuck with you because you will stick up for yourself. I love you, honey. Good night. No, all I can say is I'm really, really grateful to get to know you, Jen. I'm grateful to get to know you too, Crystal. Wow. I just think you're both beautiful, beautiful beings. Thank you so much for coming into my life. Hey, Finland, welcome here. Is he in love with you? Yes, he is. He's looking at you because you got stability energy. He likes that. Yes, he is. Wonderful. Yeah, let's stay connected. Right. Oh, I can't wait to find out when that happens. Yeah. You're welcome so much. You know, it's that time when I'm going to say goodnight to everyone. It was wonderful hanging out with you all, but I'm going to go inside and have a little snack and get my ass into bed. Thank you so much for sharing time with me, folks, and for my new sisters that I'm connected with, and for me being able to share such an intimate subject of using body fluids in witchcraft. Good night, Stacy. Wonderful to have you in my circle too. You know it. Good night, everyone. Take care. See you soon. I'll be back on Tuesday. Oh, Tuesday, going to be talking about healing using the chakra systems and how to do it. Okay, if you're interested, I'll see you soon. Bye.